Welcome back to Weird Stuff in a Can. Today we are graced with yet another flavoured variety of Heinz baked beans, this time pizza. So despite this series being called Weird Stuff in a Can, this one's not especially weird. This episode exists more for the sake of completion than it does for featuring a weird product. This is the latest flavour variety in Heinz baked beans, supposedly pizza flavour. I've reviewed most of the other flavour varieties of this product in previous episodes. So this one I saw in Iceland, and this can cost £1 because I bought their 3 for £3 deal. Let's have a look at the ingredients. Beans, 51%, tomatoes, 26%, sugar, cheese powder blend, 1.7%, which is cheese powder, flavouring, salt and spice. Rapeseed oil, modified corn flour, salt, garlic, skimmed milk powder.
Wait a minute, editing shrimp here. As a couple of people pointed out on Discord, both before I even bought this can and after the first draft upload of this video, that doesn't say corn flour, it says corn flour. I wonder how often typos like this happen. I breezed right past it in this recording because I already knew what I expected that word to be.
Basil, oregano, milk proteins, natural oregano flavouring with other flavourings, natural basil flavouring, onion flavouring. So, yeah, we're not going to open this can and find a pizza. We're going to find some baked beans with a notionally pizza-esque flavour. Here's the nutritional information if you're interested in that. There are a variety of badges here that say things like 1 of your 5 a day, high in protein, low fat. Here's the traffic light. Glad to see it's still coloured in actually on this, apart from energy. The colour coding on these traffic light systems is going away, and it makes the whole purpose of this at-a-glance panel less useful. Anyway, how to cook: 2.5 minutes in the microwave, or hob, heat gently in a pan. Beans means pizza, straight from the pizzeria, really. These beans are loaded with tomatoey, cheesy, herby goodness. An Italian twist on your comfort classic, pile high on toast, load up on a jacket potato, or pair with cheesy garlic bread. Mamma mia, it's good. Okay. I wonder what our Italian friends would have to say about all of that. Let's get it open. It's a pull tab can, and as always, I'm using a can opener because I prefer to do that. So there we go. Quite a void in the top of the can, actually, unusually. And, well, they don't look exactly like normal baked beans. I can see little pieces of herbs in there. And the sauce as well has got a peculiar granular texture, which I assume is going to be the cheese powder. Let's have a sniff. Okay, well, it does smell, I won't say it smells like pizza. It smells like something that's got cheese and herbs in it. I'm trying to place that smell. I feel like I've smelt that particular blend of aromas before, but I can't quite place where. It smells kind of like a fairground snack stall, I think. That's what I'm thinking. Anyway, I'll taste a little bit of these cold out of the can, as is my custom. I mean, they're quite herby. Unfortunately, there are some bitter notes coming through from those herbs. They are quite herby. I can't say I can taste a lot of cheese in there. There is a peculiar granular texture, which, as I say, I think will be the cheese powder in the sauce. I think if I blind tasted those, I don't think I'd guess that they were supposed to taste like pizza. But there you go. Anyway, going to get these down to the kitchen. We'll heat them up and have them on a bit of toast, maybe in a fashion that is slightly more closely approaching pizza. So about half of this can of beans is going to go in this pan. The other half can go in a box in the fridge until some later moment. Right, that's just going to go on the hob to heat gently. While that is taking place, I've got a piece of rosemary and sea salt focaccia from Lidl. So I'm going to make beans on toast, but it's going to be this bread toasted. Let's get it through the middle here. Oh, look at that. Baked bean size holes. That'll go in the toaster to lightly toast. Okay, 2 pieces of focaccia. That's the top one. In fact, I think I might just slice that further so that we can have separate tops and bottoms. My warmed Heinz pizza flavour beans. I mean, maybe I should have done the whole can, but I feel like that would have been too many, because it is my intention to pick these up to eat them. And then on a couple of them, just to make them a bit more pizza-y, I'm going to have a bit of additional oregano and some grana padano. Okay, let's get that lot back to the studio and give it a taste. Right, well, there we are. So, starting with the underside of the bread, which is the least herby bit, and the beans. And it's just beans on toast. It's quite nice, actually, on this crispy, bubbly bread. There is the herb flavours in here, in the beans, do seem to have gone a bit bitter and acrid. There's definitely a kind of almost like over-extracted bitterness to the herbs. Anyway, this is the top half of the bread, so this is the herby side of that focaccia. Now that's better. That's the herby, salty side of that bread. And I don't know about the herbs on the bread, but the salt on the bread is definitely helping to offset the bitterness of the herbs in the beans. Now, again, the underside of the bread, but with my addition of oregano and cheese. It's not the right kind of cheese for pizza, but it does help. This is now the top. So this is the top of that focaccia with the beans plus additional cheese and herbs. That's actually best of the bunch. Now, I think what we can conclude from this is that these beans must be a little bit under-seasoned. Yeah, I mean, there is salt in there. And it's 1.4 grams of salt per half can, which, you know, seems like more than I would have expected. Just going to go and grab some salt. So we'll just try that with a little sprinkle of extra salt on there. And actually, while we're there, why not a good grind of black pepper? So let's see what that does. Yeah, that actually helps. That is better, and a little bit of a surprise to me. I don't normally expect to have to season baked beans. Anyway, I'm just going to finish my lunch before it gets cold, and then I'll just talk about the product. We'll just wrap it up. So in conclusion, Heinz Beanz pizza flavour, the beans you love, margarita pizza style. I'm going to say that I don't think this is a particularly good product. I don't think this implementation of flavours is particularly good in this case. Now, I think actually you'd get a lot more mileage out of just getting an ordinary can of beans, adding some herbs and cheese yourself. The reason being that bitterness, those herbs and herb extracts in here, I think maybe because of the canning process, the fact that this is pressure cooked in a can to preserve it, I think that's done something to the herbs. And really, whilst those flavours are there, they are dominated by a bitter note that is not that pleasant. And interestingly, would have been offset by a little bit more salt. These don't seem under-seasoned on paper, but yeah, I think, look, unless you've got some reason like you're camping or something like that and you don't have cheese and herbs with you and you still want pizza flavoured beans for some reason, then I would say just get an ordinary tin of beans, add some dried mixed herbs or dried oregano, whatever you fancy, and a bit of grated cheese, and you've got probably something that's better than this flavour. So that was Heinz Beanz pizza flavour. Weird stuff in a can on atomic shrimp. Not that weird, but as I say, we had to do that for the sake of completion. I hope that's been interesting. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.